I'm Turk Strongman. Thank you for selecting this video on my personal state of mind at the time. Stuff I need to talk about before continuing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do that. It might be in your own best interests. And activate the notification bell thing. If you like the video, give it a thumb up. If you don't like it, give it your other thumb up. Just don't give it your middle finger, please. If you have comments to make, please do. But be courteous. Share the joy of the channel with others. Now let's go. Here I am, this Turk Strongman guy on Tharan Kiram Chiraka. I'm having doubts. What kinds of doubts? I'm 65 years old now. And I'm feeling like my whole endeavor here on this channel has failed. Now, it's an irrational idea, I think. I'm pretty sure that it is. Because there's plenty of evidence to the contrary. Like all the comments that I get. They're not very many. Not very many viewers, not very many subscribers, not very many comments. But they're always good when they happen. And yet, I feel that my endeavors here have failed. Now, I'm not talking about the state of humanity here. That's always in question. I'm not talking about, well, no matter what I do here, humanity is still going in the same direction. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about me and my channel. Lately, I've been playing with the idea of just deleting it, the whole thing. But I've done that before. And I always make a new one. A better one. And it takes a lot of work to do that. I'm probably not going to delete it. Unless I have an extremely irrational moment and just do it. But I'm struggling to not do that. I was recently helping somebody. Seemed to be very promising. One-on-one, by email. I thought the person might take over what I do one day. So I was helping this person, his or her own personal evolvement. Starting out in accordance with a program that I created some years back, following a specific sequence, but then got out of sequence. And I started to throw in, on agreement with the person, a sort of training to become an administrator of this material more publicly than I am doing. Things went wrong. I don't know what exactly. The person claims that I am forever his or her teacher. But I don't feel like a teacher. And I don't know exactly what went wrong. But I feel like I failed. And this is not something that with anybody I would ever want to fail in or feel like I failed. It's much too important for any individual. I get nothing out of doing this, by the way, other than a sense of satisfaction as long as the instruction that I give, adherence to it, is maintained. If it's not maintained, then I cannot continue administering the sequence. of things to do and things to learn is designed to work efficiently and safely. And apparently, it didn't go safely this time. And things got out of sequence. I think too much was tried at one time. I feel like I failed. And I think damage was done. And I'm not happy about that. I had thought initially that if I could help just one person, it's all worth it. Well, I've helped to a small extent here and there through my videos, and even one-on-one with some people. But this time, I think I failed, and I think I failed big. And this was the one person who I thought that I had finally found in my life, who might be able to take over when I'm gone and continue this work in a more public manner. Get it out there because it's important. But now I'm not sure. I don't think that's going to happen with that person. And that's the kind of person I've been looking for. I've been wanting somebody who would be able to do this, but make it grow more, to master it, not only for him or herself, but also for the world, and train others along these same lines. Get the ball rolling. I don't think that's going to happen now. And I'm running out of energy for it all. And now doubts are setting in. Now, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I'm wondering about myself even. I'm finding myself with my wife here, apologizing to her for being alive. Can you imagine that? 2 or 3 times in the last 2 days, I said, I'm sorry that I'm alive. Of course, that didn't make her feel good. Didn't make me feel any better. But I really feel like I mean it. At least some part of me means it. And I'm remembering that when I was a very small child, I had an older brother, 7 years older than I. He claimed, I was only maybe 3 years old at the time when he told me this in private. He was looking me straight in the eye. He had been moody ever since I could remember. My mother would say he's moody. He would sit in the bedroom that he shared with me. Tiny little bedroom in an 8-foot wide mobile home. He'd sit there with his head in his hands. And finally one day, he looked at me straight in the eye and he said, I'll tell you what's wrong. You were born. And you ruined my life when you were born. I wish you'd never been born. You ruined my life. There was our older brother. He's 8 years older than I. This is what my brother said to me. And it's true. My oldest brother is 15 years older than I. He's still alive. The one who was talking to me is now dead. And I got to tell you, I'm glad. I'll continue with why and what happened, what he said to me. He said, until you were born, I had an important place here. I got attention. The older brother and I, we got equal attention. Now I'm the middle brother. Our older brother, he still gets plenty of attention. And now you get attention, but I don't. You're the baby. You're the baby. You're always going to be the baby of the family. You're going to get plenty of attention. And I'm going to make sure that you get treated badly. For the rest of my life, I am going to make your life horrible. I'm going to make you look as bad as I possibly can, because you ruined my life by being born. And I hate you for being born. And I'm going to ruin your life. And he set out to do it. And he did a good job with following through with his promise. He made me look bad at every turn that he could. There were some good moments, yeah, but in large, it was a smear campaign. Ever since I was about 3 years old. And now, listen to me. I'm saying to my wife, I'm sorry I was born. I've had anger through my life. And I think in large, a lot of it had to do with that brother, who, like I said, is now dead, and I'm glad. He's gone. But here I am, still feeling like I did something wrong by just being here. No matter what evidence to the contrary there is. Like the good comments here in this channel, I feel like I've done something wrong. That it's all just vanity, vain, wasted. That I've done more harm than good. And that I need to apologize. That I should feel guilty. Do you think I should delete my channel? Or do you think I should leave it? Tell me in the comments below. Is my effort worth it? Am I doing anything worthwhile here? This sounds like doubt, doesn't it? Well, I said that. Yes, I'm having doubts. Now, I know the effect of doubt. Doubt bars the way. That's just a general axiom. Not even aimed at anything specific. Doubt will bar the way. Whatever it is, whatever the way is, whatever the way is supposed to be leading to, doubt will bar it. I know that, but I still have it. Here I'm supposed to be Turk Strongman. The Ramki Ramachuraga. Teacher? I'm nobody's teacher. I've never claimed any title. I'm not a guru. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a trainer. I'm not a guide. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a master. I'm none of those things. I don't claim these titles for myself. Oh, it's nice when somebody says you're my teacher, but I don't want to be anybody's teacher. I don't want to be anybody's anything forever. I don't want attached to anything or anybody forever. In any way. I want to be free of attachments to anything. I want to somehow, someday, in the sojourn of my whatever cosmic existence, to experience the free universe. The sovereignty of myself in a free universe. I don't want attached. And I am nobody's teacher. The minute I or anybody else seriously thinks that, well, that's the minute at which things are going in the wrong direction, in my opinion. All I have here is insight and experience, intelligence, and a lot of study and experiment and application with myself and others over this kind of material. That's all I have. That's what I put here. That's what I offer. And in my narrations, when I narrate books, I'm good at it, so I do it. When I make videos, I'm good at it. When I make thumbnails, I'm good at it. I know those things. Those things are not in doubt. And when I write scripts for my videos, I'm good at it. But is it worth a damn? Any of it? I don't know. One person in my life claimed that I am his or her teacher, and I failed. I'm convinced of it. I'm not even sure that I'm supposed to be alive right now. Something's been bothering me lately. Something that happened. If you go on the internet and you look up the cliffs, 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 like cliff climbing of San Francisco, or the cliffs at Seal Rock, San Francisco, and you look at images of the cliffs. Well, I lived 3 blocks from there at one time, in the late 90s, 1990s, and I would climb on those cliffs. It's against the law to do that because it's extremely dangerous. Many people have died doing it. It's very dangerous. It's not a playground for children. I would do it. I would especially go out there and do it during storms, thunderstorms. One time, I had already climbed the cliffs twice in one day, bare hand, free hand, only sneakers on my feet. And I was trying a third time in a spot that I had never done before. It was not solid rock. When I got to about 10 to 12 feet from the top, there was nowhere else to go. And the tide had come in below. The waves were pounding against the bottom of the cliff. Notwithstanding that it's really almost impossible to climb back down a cliff freehand. But where would I go anyway, if I could? The tide was in. The boulders laying now in the water below were huge. The waves during this storm time were just huge. I could feel the vibration of them pounding against the bottom of the cliff, a couple 100 feet below. I'm about 10 to 12 feet from the top, and I'm spread-eagled. There's nowhere else to grab. And if I let go with my fingertips or my toe tips, I mean spread-eagled, my legs were wide apart and so were my hands. And I'm pressed flat against the wall, straight up, and there was only mud. I had hit soil. There was only soil, and it was mud. And I could see a tuft of grass sticking out over the top. And there was nowhere to go but down the hard way. I knew it was the end of my life. And I was exhausted. I was slipping, millimeter by millimeter, second by second. I had only 2 options left in my life. which was going to be very brief. Do I let go? Or do I just slip? Those were my two options. Well, I'm still here. I didn't even make a decision. I knew I had to make a decision. And at that very moment, without any interval of blankness, nothing, just instantly and quietly, I was laying on my back with my head toward the edge, about 2 feet in from the edge, at the top, on level ground, on the grass. Instantly. And I wasn't waking up or coming to. It was just face flat against the wall, against the cliff, and then laying on my back at the top. Without a break in between. It was just like when you're watching a movie and suddenly there's no transition from one scene to the next, just there's the next scene. Just here's one scene, now boom, there's the other. Next scene. That's the way it was. I've told this to people, and I don't think anybody has fully appreciated the truth of it or how that feels to remember it. People have offered their explanations. Oh, well, you must have scrambled on up and just don't remember. No, that's not what happened. I'm telling you what happened. I never forgot it. Since the moment that it happened, since the moment that I got up and walked back home, I never forgot that. How could I? I didn't add to the story. I didn't change the story. I've remembered it quite often, and it's always been the same. I don't wonder how it happened. I don't wonder what happened. I don't wonder why it happened. It's just that it happened. And it doesn't feel very comfortable. It's very weird. But at that moment, excuse me. At that moment, I sneezed. No. Death was inevitable. I didn't have much time to prepare for that. But I knew it was coming. And it didn't come. And now I find myself apologizing for being alive. And I'm remembering my brother and what he told me. And I'm thinking of my failure here, my channel, with somebody, the one person who stepped up to the plate and said, I'll take over. I'll do this. I can do this. Just teach me. You are my teacher. Well, yeah. No, I'm not. And I don't know that anybody else is ever going to step up and say, hey, I can do this. Just teach me how. I don't think that's going to happen. One person in, 20 years said so, and I failed. Now, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a productive person. I've tried many things in my life, many businesses. They've never worked out. None. I've tried to make money doing this. I've never made a penny. Doing this right here, I've never made a penny. I played the electric bass for years, since I was 19. I stopped a couple of years ago. I don't think I'm ever going to do it again. Very unique style. You can see it on another channel I have here called Tone Freak Bass Experience. Pretty interesting stuff. It's all improvised, all of it. Some people have said, you're the best bass player I've ever heard in my life. I mean, you have mood, you have atmosphere, your stuff creates mental images, my goodness. It's amazing. But I never made a penny at that either. None. And when I look at people giving bass instruction on the internet, I don't even know what they're talking about. They talk about this scale, that scale. I have difficulty even practicing such things. It's very foreign to me. I just create sounds. It seems like it's all just a failure. I just want to stop. I don't want to keep on going like that. I don't want to keep on going here. I don't know what to do. Don't you think that just because I might have some wise things to say here on this channel that I'd live up to any of it, because I don't. I'm just good at this material. I'm good at saying it. I'm good at coming up with it. I'm good at laying it out. I'm good at creating videos about it. I'm good at narrating other people's material about it. I'm creative. And I'm rather well educated. I have a lot of experience with it. Somebody said to me lately, how do you know you failed? You don't know that. Given some of your starting points in life, you didn't fail at anything. You're shining success, but I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. Not today, anyway. Not lately. No. I don't find a lot to pat myself on the back about. And again, just because I have great answers to some questions that people have about their lives, just off the cuff, and they say, my goodness, that changed my life. Your answer to that has actually instrumented a big change in my direction in life. My goodness, thank you. Don't think that I'm some wise man sitting on a blanket at the top of a mountain somewhere, because I'm not. I am not that at all. I'll tell you one reason why I have a lot of answers that I can give other people is because I had to find them for myself. I had to figure them out for myself a long time ago. I needed them because nobody else had them for me. Nobody ever has. Nobody does yet. I have questions. Maybe. Well, no, not really. Nah. But if I did, there would be nobody who I could turn to who would give me solid information, and I know it because I've searched and searched and searched. And even the material here that comes from other sources, or that harks back to other sources, my own material that I put together from other sources, none of those sources gave a whole picture of a good solution to anything. I had to put it together for myself. And what are you going to get out of a series of a bunch of videos here on YouTube. Not much. It's not the nature of YouTube channel videos to be of great insight or help to other people. You just can't put it all in one video. It has to be scattered all over videos, little bit by bit. And how are you supposed to put it all together for yourself? I have over 500 videos here. I think getting close to 600. Are you going to go through all 600 videos and then piece it all together, work out a map, be able to put it all together into one matrix, one interconnected, mutually interpenetrating mass of information and apply it? No, you are not. That picture of it all exists in only one place, right in here. And look at me. Listen to me right now. My state of mind over it all. It's not a pretty picture. I have doubts. And if there's anything I need to apologize to anybody here for, well, then I'll say it right now. I'm sorry. Oh, people say don't apologize for yourself. Yeah, well, I know some people who never say I'm sorry or anything. And I don't like them for that. I don't like it. I don't take that to be a virtue at all. I take it to be an abhorrence. I'm not a sorry-ass motherfucker, but I do apologize. One time here. This is it. If there is something that I need to apologize for, then there it is. I said it. But I don't know. I have doubts. Did you like the video? Give it a thumb up. Didn't you like it? And give it your other thumb up. Don't give it your middle finger. Subscribe to the channel. I'll tell you what, there is one thing you will find here that I have no doubt over, and it is my honesty. Make your comments, but be courteous. Subscribe, activate the notification bell feature. Share the channel with others. I'm not Turk Strowman, but this is Theron Q. Raman Chiraka. Be well.